It was a challenging week one for the home team, and tonight they look to rebound against a formidable foe. USL Championship action brought to you by Doral Kia takes center stage in South Florida, where Miami FC goes toe-to-toe with Indy 11. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us on a gorgeous Saturday night. Ricky, it was not to be for Miami FC in week number one. They had their chances, but just could not convert.
Frustrating in the way that Miami FC conceded their goals last week, one off of a set piece, and the second, just lazy defending. No one quick enough to react. But the positive is, David, they had some chances. Knutson almost gets on the end of it from a set piece. I expect Miami FC to be a lot tougher in set piece situations and a lot harder to break down here tonight.
Well, they're going to be without one player this evening. However, they have a couple guys expected to step up. One of them taking center stage, Lucas Milano.
Lucas Milano is a player that can be a real problem for defenders with how smart of a player that he is. The ability to pick up the ball in between lines can be a nightmare. One thing that is going to be for certain, if Miami FC want to find success here tonight, you need to get Lucas Milano on the ball early and often.
Conversely, for Indy 11, they swept the season series in 2024 against Miami FC. They finished fourth in the Eastern Conference. That goal differential was not admirable, but they want to take that next step this year.
And the 11 had some success last season, but ultimately fell short of their goal with the motivation factor and the amount of talent that Sean McCauley brought into his roster. I expect once again in 2025 to see this team towards the top of the Eastern Conference.
It wasn't a complete overhaul, but they did bring in some considerable players that will make an instant impact tonight. I'm looking at Patrick Hogan. He's one of them.
Sean McCauley did a really good job, like you said, David, of bringing players in that not only that are talented, but that have had success in USL Championship. Patrick Hogan in the back. You look at Edward Chiza, who's going to be spearheading the attack. Really well done in the offseason from Indy 11.
Miami FC, they lead the all-time heads-up matchup between these two sides. 6 up and 5 down with a couple of draws. Trying to extend that here tonight. Coming up on their side, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. It's Miami FC, Indy 11 coming up next.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
Hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's little Havana.
Ladas
Empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
Everyday journey, there are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Doral Kia. Drive for less, drive Doral. Bon Bon Boom. Macron, become your own hero, and Baptist Health. Back here at Pitbull Stadium with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. Ricky, the starters tonight, do the honors, please.
4-3-3 for Gaston Madoni, but my eyes go to that middle three. Veron, Romero, and Mercado. How good can they be at dictating tempo? Because if they do that, now you afford Gavianes Rivera to be expansive, to supply Lucas Milano, who is our player to watch. That front three needs to be early and confident on the ball.
Other side of things for Indy 11, the deployment tonight for Sean McCauley.
Aiden Quinn, James Murphy. That's going to be the name of the game for Sean McCauley. How good can they be at dictating tempo? Because he wants his team to be on the ball a little bit more. Jack Blake at the number 10 position likes to play in between lines, and he's going to pull the strings for Indy 11 here tonight.
Noticeable guys for both these teams taking center stage. One of them, Bill Hamid. He's been around the block, obviously a professional through and through, but he's been around and now finding a home here with Miami FC. This is his first look in 2025. What do you expect from him between the sticks?
I think you're looking at leadership, communication between that back line for Miami FC, because that's what you're going to get from Holter Solt for Indy 11. As we take a look at Sean McCauley, a really experienced coach for Indy 11, we had a good conversation with him. He said, look, we want to be on the ball a little bit more, especially in that final third, and they brought in players, specifically James Murphy, to help that side.
Yeah, he spent time with Portland and also Orlando City in the MLS. He brought in some guys that he's awfully familiar with as well. So it's the guys that you do know that can get you to where you want to be. Gaston Madani on the other side of things. It's a youthful group for him, but also plenty of passion, plenty of guys that have come from Argentina. These guys are obviously filled up and looking to get themselves on the right kind of note here tonight. A little bit different than week number 1 with some personnel changes, but regardless, it does feel like a confident group. Match is underway. Miami FC with possession. They're moving from left to right on your screen. Temperatures at first touch, 77 degrees, a little bit of humidity at 75, but all in all, it's a perfect night for ball. Ricardo Rivera getting the start here tonight. Take a look at tonight's keys to tonight's matchup. Ricky, brought to you by Doral Kia. Drive for less, drive Doral.
For Miami FC, you just need to be confident on the ball, because that's exactly what Gaston Modoni wants to be. He's a head coach that wants to be an attacking-minded style to take chances in that final third. And for Indy 11, how quickly can you get Edward Chiza on the ball? Because we saw his success for the Riverhounds. Can he emulate that for Indy 11?
Pat Hogan making his way over from Pittsburgh to Indy 11. You know, if you're Sean McCulley, you want to have him amongst those notable guys to lock things down, because Pittsburgh was fantastic on the back end in 2024. Miami FC didn't concede a whole lot. Yes, they surrendered a couple goals last week to Detroit City. But keep in mind, they were playing down a player for an entire half, the second half. Francisco Bonfilio picking up his second yellow card early on that affair. This crossing attempt is nullified quickly by Knudsen. Knudsen was busy last week, offensively and defensively. We showed in the pregame he nearly had that header for a goal, but I liked his spirit last week.
Him and Bilwak and Yodi have their freedom to step into that middle third and almost play as a third midfielder for Gaston Madoni. But they need to do that, and they need to be disciplined when they do that. And now if you are Bent and Ricketts, they need to pinch in and supply that support underneath.
Indy 11 has some big players in the back line, just good size all the way across the board. A notable figure. This one played across the back line. Hamid comes out, taken down inside the 18, and the head referee points to the spot. Not a desirable start here for Miami FC. And with all the focus is Boluak and Yodi looking on.
And again, from a set piece, causing issues for Miami FC, unable to clear the initial ball, but the secondary action as well gets him in trouble as James Musa comes across. It's that left leg from Bolu that gets him in trouble. As he tries to reach around James Musa, a lot of the player, not a lot of the ball. What an opportunity this is for Indy 11.
Yeah, Jack Blake will take the penalty. He was fantastic last year. He led the team, was tied for the team lead in goals with 10. Trying to get his first here in 2025. Against Hamid, he shoots, and he scores. Good confidence builder for Blake and company. Indy 11 on the board here in the third minute, 1-0.
It's a dream start for the visiting side. We talked about how important set pieces can be when you are away from home. The ability to get players in and around that 18-yard box and just put pressure on opposing back lines. You look at Gaston Modoni, a bit confused and shell-shocked for Miami FC, but notice the left leg from Bolu right there. Catches James Musa, a little bit overzealous from the center back. And Jack Blake, cool as you would like, notice the way that he closed up his hips at the last second. Sells beat Bill Hamid the wrong way, and Indy 11 1-0 up within the first 5 minutes.
And we were curious to see how Hamid would do starting off here with Miami FC. It's not a way to get into the rhythm or a flow of a match. Bolu with the foul. It takes place, unfortunately, right in front of Hamid. And just like that, Blake converts. It's 1-0, Indy 11. Miami FC last week against Detroit City had a couple of chances early on to convert and, in fact, take the advantage. But after their early concession, conceding a goal, and then down a player after Bonfilio's second yellow, showed him the showers. It was all academic from there. Miami FC did not have a shot in the opening half. In fact, they went 60 minutes without a shot in the second half.
Is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
You can see early on Indy 11 trying to penetrate the back line of Miami FC. Chiz and company trying to break it. And, of course, Ricky mentioned the keys to tonight's contest. Chiz obviously one of those players that Indy 11 would love to get off tonight, but all in all, if he can get some help on the outside, it'll make for an easy night for him and his teammates.
He's a player that's really clever within his movement, always likes to play off the opposing shoulder. So Knutson and Akinyoti, communication top priority for the two center backs.
Part of the staples for Indy 11 last year, rolling over here into 2025, Aiden Stanley. Stanley, healthy amount of time with Miami FC, but he's just a guy you can plug in week after week after week. 32 matches last year, 32 starts. Harsh foul in the middle of the pitch. James Murphy looking on. Murphy signed with the club just feels like a few days ago. In fact, tail end of January. Almost feels like the same for Miami SC as we were talking to some of the folks behind the scenes. You had a lot of these guys just coming in from Argentina that have only found living situations here in Miami 2 weeks before the season started. So everyone's just kind of getting settled in right now. Gavilanes, don't take this one. Line drive delivery. It's one thing for Miami FC a week ago. It just didn't have a lot of opportunities on set pieces. Gavilanes, who started last week, didn't have really any clean looks towards target with a quick touch. Poor entry. Quinn with the intercept, and back comes Indy 11.
Just needs to be a little bit cleaner in that final third for Miami FC because you have the possession, you have the numbers, but decision making. Do not want to play the ball in a congested area because this Indy 11 side is too good defensively, only conceding 53 times in 2024. 7 minutes in, picking up right where they left off.
Some guys that will do damage when the opportunity is given to them. Foster, certainly one of them. Scored 5 times last year, also had 5 helpers. He's free on the right-hand side. That ball never came his way, though. Miami FC trying to flip the script. They cannot. Blake, he gets taken out. He's looking to get bailed out on a call. No such luck here. Miami FC trying to push something the other way. Elvis Osmanovic, our lead official tonight, called upon early with the infraction against Bolu Akinyoti on the dead run. That goes right back to Indy 11. And fans, welcome to 2025 USL Kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for all the action on ESPN and also CBS sports platforms. Folks making their way down to South Florida from Indy, I assume. Saw a decent amount of the contingency from Detroit last week.
And this is to be expected for Miami FC. When in possession, they shift into a 3-back system. So now Ricketts will push onto the right-hand side. Knutson will be the single center back and Bolo on his left-hand side. And doing that, now you can be more expansive to try to have more attacking players high up the field to supply Milano, Rivera, and Gavilanes.
Alejandro Metrano was busy last week, not amongst the starters here tonight for Miami FC. Miami FC, after tonight, will have a quick rebound because they have some action. U.S. Open Cup begins here in a few days for them. Gavilanes gave up, looked to get it back. Miami FC, though, does not have numbers. And Ricky, almost kind of a similar situation last week against Detroit. Miami just not holding the ball for extended periods of time, and you don't do that, it's hard to get into a rhythm.
Ball needs to move quicker as well. 1-2 touch, too many times players taking extra touches, and that what that does for Indy 11, that allows them to get deep into their defensive structure.
Miami FC, with their 2-0 loss last week to Detroit, they picked up 5 yellow cards in that loss. Foster gave it up quickly, wanted to jumpstart the attack. Chiza just could not corral it. Possession. For a brief moment, Miami FC did have it. Could have been a dangerous opportunity for them, but Ferran just could not settle it up on the right-hand side. Deon came as a sub last week. Now amongst the 11 here this evening. Holding possession for Miami FC. And a quick foul is the guilty party there in Chiza.
Really well done there from Romero, who picks up the second ball. And as there's no option, just puts himself between him and Chiza, goes down. That affords Miami FC the ability to restart and gain some real estate higher up at the pitch.
Mentioned Milano during the open. Have not heard a peep from him just yet.
But again, just the decision-making from Miami FC. You see the frustration from Lucas Milano's face. He wants the ball to feet. He wants to play in between the lines, and doing that, Musa and Hogan will step out. And that's when you need a secondary run from a player like Rivera.
Needs the opportunities, but of course, needs the ball in his sweet spot. Not where he is, but where he wants to travel to. Out wide, Foster again on the dead run. Has it now. Nice move by Foster, trying to get to the top of the box. But jostling for the position. That's a prime opportunity here for Indy 11. Good effort from Foster.
Just a nightmare to defend Malik Foster with his pace, but also how comfortable he is on the ball in tight areas. His first touch directional changes the direction of Jonathan Ricketts, and it's that right arm. Handful of the jersey, the extension gets him in trouble. And yet again for Indy 11, really nice location for Jack Blake. Nightmare if you're Bill Hamid to defend this.
Stanley, who's there. Stanley, for all that he has done defensively in his career, he actually led the team last year with 7 assists. Stanley will work quickly. Blake here, though. Pretty good curl to it, but a one-hopper Hamid with his first touch of the evening.
Secure hands from Hamid. No spillage whatsoever. Just no real options for Miami FC, David. Once a player drops off, there's just no secondary player changing their angle. That plays right into the hands of Indy 11.
Might feel obvious that it'll happen sooner rather than later, but even with so many players coming from Argentina for Miami FC, how long do you think it takes before they get into a full team rhythm?
I think you're looking at third game, at least for this Miami FC side, with the amount of changes that they had to their roster. A lot of the mistakes as well, David, have been just silly, unable to play off one another, find some areas of spaces that you can drop into. That's why you start to see Indy 11 pushing higher and forcing turnovers.
We'll be curious to see what happens when they do fully blossom. And what will be the name of their game? Will it be speed? Will it be tenacity? Will it be physicality? Maybe to a man last week it was anger. But that anger in specific times needs to be tempered, and it was not. but the night and the year is young. Indy 11 really clogging up the middle of the park. Blake asking for delivery. Rivera just trying to get up. Blake had his pocket picked. Well, Milano had the right idea, just did not have reinforcements. Now they'll slow play this thing up. Blake in the 3rd minute on the penalty, making it 1-0 Indy 11. It's the first goal of the year for Indy 11. Did not play last week. Frustrating 2024 end to them. Solt comes out quickly to tap that down and collect it. For all that was well with Indy 11 last year, 2 things that stood out. One of them was the fact that they finished 4th in the Eastern Conference, Ricky, but they had a negative goal differential. -2, and then it reared its ugly head when they faced Rhode Island, an expansion squad during the postseason last year, and got kicked out 3-2.
You talk to any club in USL Championship, top priority, especially once postseason play comes in, you want to play at home. Disappointing for Sean McCauley to lose 3-2 to Rhode Island, who, quite frankly, and Connor Smith surprised everyone going all the way to the final before dropping. Good ball here.
Nice ball, but Silk comes out to read that all the way.
But those are the areas that you want Lucas Milano to operate in. Off the shoulder, higher up the field, just a little bit too heavy from Veron in that entry pass, but better from Miami FC.
Yeah, last year, Indy 11 finished with 51 points. They had 14 victories, 11 defeats, and 9 draws, but they were at least 500 on the road. That's what you want to be. They were 6-6-5. They didn't capture any major awards during the postseason, but notable guys, Aiden Stanley, Ben Ofemu, they had rung up a bunch of honorees, USL Championship honors, 3 times. The Stanley mentioned towards Team of the Week. Ofemu as well, grabbing honors a couple times. Foster here. Blake and Foster trying to sync up with their eyes, but to no avail. Nice defending on the back line.
Better from Ricketts. You get too tight to make Foster, he's going to spin you like a top. Stays about 3 yards away, and once Foster takes that long touch, that's when he closes down the space, defending 101.
Indy 11, a little bit of activity during the preseason. Saw matches with Chicago Fire 2, Cincinnati 2, and also Columbus Crew 2. That corner not well delivered. Staying inside, though, and that drive goes off of a body, and that'll be another corner kick for Indy 11 as Murphy stepped into that one. It's one of the things that Sean McCauley said to us during the week. He wants his team to be much better on set pieces. I think he's got the weapons to do that this year. Stanley kept that one on the deck. Outside the drive, the left foot, and it finds some more twine. Beautiful setup. There's Aiden Quinn in the 18th minute. It's 2-0, Indy 11.
Yet again for Miami FC, unable to deal with set pieces, specifically corner kicks. Not the initial ball yet again. It's a secondary action that they conceded. Notice the way that Aiden Quinn steps into this. Watch his shoulders the whole way over the ball, head down, and just lets momentum do its thing and just tags it. Fantastic layout from Chizup. No chance for Bill Hamid. And just like that, Indy 11 double their lead within 20 minutes on the road.
That's something you love to have in training and just teeing off on before you head to the locker room. But for Quinn, on the board, and Indy 11 does it again, 2-0. Coming into this contest, Miami FC led the all-time season series, 6 victories to 5. But last year for Indy 11, they really did have their way with Miami FC. And now they're continuing to the same tune.
Now, if you are Gaston Madoni, the head coach for Miami FC, you're looking at players around the field and looking for a leader. Yes, you have Bill Hamid, who's a goalkeeper with the experience that he's had and the success in MLS. But you need a field player to take this game, calm the troops down, and simply connect passes. The rhythm has not been there for the home side so far.
Quinn last year did not score a goal. You look at the body of work for Indy 11. Plenty of guys did damage for them, but now you get Quinn on the board, get him rolling. In the last 2+ matches, Indy 11 has outscored Miami FC 9-1.
Just no real pressure, no shape defensively at this moment in time for Miami FC. Notice a way that Jack Blake, Aiden Quinn, James Murphy can just pick up their head and have acres of space.
Was one of the elements last year for Miami FC when things did go bad. They went from bad to worse. It almost feels like that when Bolu picked up that foul inside the box. Penalty converted by Blake, and then all of a sudden now they're just chasing the match.
I think it starts centrally in that midfield for Gaston Madoni. Varane and Romero getting caught way too high. And that puts a lot of responsibility for Mercado and so much grass for him to cover.
High leverage positions for Miami to be in. Now you're just asking for a whole lot. Bad ball here. Unfortunate for them, at least trying to get on the front foot. Romero can't do a whole lot with the ball behind him like that. He was on the dead run, and unfortunate for him, just play not materializing for Miami FC just yet. So Hamid, who was one of the big pickups for Miami FC this year, victimized twice. We got some numbers here for Indy 11. Rendon, who had it, gave it up, nearly got it back. For Indy 11, you talk about playing on the front foot, Ricky. It feels like Indy 11's playing downhill right now. Good job defending by Miami FC.
Unable to connect any sort of passes for Miami FC.
So last season was stellar between the pipes, set a goals against average of 119. 12 victories during his time. Turn the page here, though. Foster, out wide, high hurdling, but can't keep possession. Back comes Miami. Gavilanes trying to weave his way through some traffic. He successfully does. Held up for a brief moment by Quinn. Official didn't see it. See what Miami can do here, building things up. 23rd minute. Did not have a lot of possession last week against Detroit. Definitely trying to pick it up here. And this will be a corner kick.
Best action that we've seen from Miami FC. You change your point of attack, and now you isolate White 1v1. Really well done for Ben to put him on his heels and win a set piece.
White getting the start here tonight against Bent. Bent just 18 years of age on an academy contract. It's quite the way to get your feet wet professionally, right? Just get thrown amongst the wolves and have at it. Create your own fate.
Yep, 21.
Varane here. On the delivery. Pretty good look on it. That header just sprinkles wide of the right bar. Knutson and company have been flirting on set pieces, carryover from last week.
He's always going to be the intended target, Knutson, with how dominant he is on the ball and in the air. Unable to snap and get clean contact over his right shoulder.
Missed last week, an equalizer just inches away, and then Detroit came right back to put a dagger in the heart. Foster taken down. Could not draw a foul. He's down in agony. And he stays down. Foster grabbing his right knee. Miami FC walking this thing up. Foster grabbing, I don't know if that's the knee or the hamstring, but he's in some agony. Speaking of agony, I got to imagine with Tulu being out for Miami FC for quite a while. His injury, season ending. Unfortunate for him, but it's one of those blows to the heart for Miami FC, a quad injury that, really, those things are tricky.
Have to be really careful within his recovery. You do not want to come back too early and re-injure yourself. And he was a player that Miami FC in that front office signed. And had a lot of hope for him in terms of his responsibility and a leader within that back line.
So it's one of those things as an athlete, what would you rather do? Break a bone, tear a ligament, or tear a muscle? Bone's probably the best thing to do, if anything, because a bone can heal relatively quick, but a tendon or a muscle, those recoveries just depends on the athlete, of course the therapy, and it's a multiple occurrence. You had the ACL, right?
Twice.
See, there you go. Exhibit A. Gavilanes. Good. Searching for some hope. Romero here on the cross. The header. No delivery by Miami FC, but plenty of contact near the 6. 2 bodies fly for Miami. No whistle, no call. Good look, though, from Romero. An avowed idea. Back the other way. Side up in the air. Romero, unfortunate for him, just could not get to it.
Right here. I got the spot. Hey, it's back here. Hey.
Still a lot of match to be played, Ricky, but you feel like Miami has to get one back before the end of this first half.
I tend to agree. And they've been better over the last 10 minutes, getting on the ball a little bit more, getting players in between those lines in those halved areas. Lucas Milano, very quiet. 5 touches to the first 28 minutes. Not good enough for a player of his quality and his experience. If you're Gaston Modoni, you need to get him on the ball a little bit more.
Quinn, his first goal of the season in the 18th minute. Before that, Blake on the penalty. That was in the 3rd. Admirable beginning for Indy 11. Speaking of it, Gavilanes and company trying to recover. Just too much run to it.
These are the type of actions that you need for Miami FC. Look how many players that takes out. A ball from Ricardo into Gavilanes, and now you have Ben in acres of space. Little actions like that you need to see more often if you are Miami FC.
To no avail. As the sun continues to set here over Pitbull Stadium. Second match at home to open up for Miami FC. First 4 matches for Miami FC, they had the luxury of playing at home in 5 of the first 6. It's perfect for a club looking for some stability.
You look at the schedule. You had Detroit City, you have Indy 11 here tonight, Tampa, New Mexico. Schedule makers did you a favor to play at home.
Yeah.
But not against your opposition. That's a tough run of games for Miami FC.
For Indy after tonight, they'll be on the road against Lexington. And they go back home for their opener. Last season, Miami really suffering at the hands of everybody in USL Championship. Just 3 victories, a couple of draws. Talk about a prime spot for an opportunity for Indy 11 as Blake goes down again. Varane a little displeased on that call. That's putting it mildly.
Just too much space between lines for Miami FC. And once this ball comes out, now Jack Blake has the freedom to go centrally or go around the corner. Varane unable to move his feet as he lunges in. That's exactly what Knutson is mentioning. We need a presence right in front of our 2 center backs. That's exactly where Jack Blake is operating and causing all sorts of problems for Miami FC.
Things that he'll learn. 24-year-old and Knutson doing a bit of coaching on the pitch. Never a bad idea. Hamid.
Plethora of options here for Indy 11. Does seem like Jack Blake is going to step onto it. Top priority for Bill Hamid is to trust your wall. You do not want to get caught goal side or get caught cheating. The quality of Jack Blake, comfortable distance to go up and over the wall and put some English and bend on it.
We'll see where Blake goes with this. Imagine he will be the one taking it. And it will be Blake. Good drive, Hamid, with a fine stop.
Fantastic save from the experienced goalkeeper. Makes it look a lot easier than what it is. You see the English, you see the bend, full extension to push it over his crossbar. Great save.
Bill, I got to imagine, wants a few more of those. Just the touches can do a lot for a keeper. And then once you get hot, you can stay into that flow. Stanley. Bit of body contact. He's fought off. Looks like possession will go back to Miami. Lovis Osmanovic getting an earful from the bench from Indy 11. 32nd minute. As you mentioned, Ricky, Miami has recovered. They played better the last 10 minutes. But the one element that's lacking a bit, the opportunity on set pieces.
Left side of your screen, Jack Blake, in about 10 yards of space. That's exactly what we're talking about. You need to be a little bit more compact if you are Miami FC.
Foster was the intended target for delivery. Staying with Indy 11 this time, though, as Milano could not maintain possession. Both these clubs heading into this year doing a lot of shopping, bringing in a wealth of talent. A lot of it internationally for Miami FC. Most of it just veteran guys from around USL Championship for Indy. I guess the question is, who benefits off of something like that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Hey, you're the analyst. You're the pro.
I think if you are Indy 11, right, it's your game model. What you believe in, what do you think will be successful, what do you think works? And for Miami FC, trying to get any sort of rhythm and wipe away any memory of last season. Yet again, really bad foul to concede. If you are Mercado, no need to go in with that amount of pace through the backside of Jack Blake. Plays right into the hands of Indy 11 to really test Bill Hamid yet again.
Venture a guess, it's probably his last warning right there. Miami didn't start physical last week, but it built up. It spilled over into a couple of harsh yellows.
James Murphy in acres of space right on top of that 18-yard box. Something to be aware of if you are Miami FC.
Blake here. Pretty good delivery. Hamid can't get it. It's 3-0 Indy 11. And there's Pat Hogan, jolly on the spot. His debut with Indy, picture perfect. And it's all Indy 11 here tonight.
3 goals conceded on 3 set pieces for Miami FC, but you have to give credit to Indy 11, especially on the road. Set pieces are utmost importance. Great ball in from Jack Blake, and this is all about the movement from Patrick Hogan to get goal side. Gives him a better angle to flick it on. Off to the corner to celebrate. 3-0 to the visiting side.
So for Hogan, he gets his first goal and his first night with Indy 11. Quinn, who scored to make it 2-0, his 55th USL Championship goal, and then Blake before all that was his 32nd USL Championship goal. So it is a banner night for the road team, and we're only in the 36th minute. When these two teams had gotten together last year, back in September, Indy trounced Miami 4-0. And when they locked up here at Pitbull Stadium back on May the 12th, it was a 3-1 outcome. Bill Hamid stuck in no man's land, it feels like. As you mentioned, Ricky, 3 set pieces. That is leaving your keeper in a vulnerable spot.
Just notice the difference from both teams in their defensive structure. All 11 players of Indy 11 behind the ball. About 5 to 7 yards in between lines, not affording Miami FC to play in any space. On the opposite, Miami has about 15 to 20 yards between that midfield line and back line.
Indy 11 back on the run again. Foster looking for more. Good distribution across the board for Indy 11. Goals that have been scored haven't been in back-to-back sequences, but again, for Indy 11, they've been spreading the wealth. Blake and Quinn, now Hogan. There'll be another corner kick, and yes, another piece, set piece. I thought it would be a set piece, and now almost Osmanovic is saying it goes back to Miami FC. .39th minute at the end of this first half. Ricky and myself will have first half highlights, some stats, some news and notes. We'll take a look around USL Championship. Looked like an illegal touch there. Can't read a whole lot into what went down in week number 1, but things will certainly take shape over the course of this first month. Detroit and Colorado Springs level at 1-1. North Carolina leading Loudoun United 1-0. Scoreless between Rhode Island and Charleston. Got a couple matches that are going to tee off in a few minutes. Tampa Bay and FC Tulsa. San Antonio and Pittsburgh. Curious to see what San Antonio does this year. It was not an admirable finish for them in 2024. Foster again. Chizza wanted it, but Foster just couldn't settle it for himself to play it through.
Just no options. No options for Miami FC. Once Bolak, Coyote, Benz, Knutson, or Ricketts get on the ball, it's only Mercado who's dropping in. No movement on the top line, no one dropping in, no one running in behind. Very comfortable first half for Indy 11 within their back line because everything has been in front of them.
Certainly a bit surprising, given what happened last week. And Miami FC was,
watch out here,
decent defensively a week ago. Ricketts, not his finest effort. Miami FC trying to press, and they cannot. While we have a moment, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us, us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I am David Gascon, hanging out with you. A brand new year of USL Championship action taking place at Pitbull Stadium. Hogan on the board. Before that was Quinn and Blake to open up the party for Indy 11 in the third minute off a penalty. And it has been more than enough for the road team. Miami has only had some flirtatious moments, but nothing towards Salt that would cause any kind of damage against. Shots right now in this first half, 6-1 in favor of Indy 11. 5 of them have been on target. Towards the back post, a header. A one-hopper, easy for Salt to manage.
They've had their most success when they start on one side of the field and they end on the other. Whether it is an overload with Ricketts this time, good pick out from Rivera. But that slight touch from Malik Foster throws off Ricketts, unable to get enough power. Good action from Miami FC, something we have not seen nearly enough.
2 guys with the best chances tonight have been on the back line for Miami FC. Ricketts.
Bad giveaway here.
Speaking of a bad giveaway, watch out on the right-hand side. Rendon Hamid with a big stop there. Good stop by Hamid. Yes, it's 3-0, but regardless, Hamid's still got to play his game.
Just a bit naive from Miami FC to give the ball over that cheaply about 20 yards out. Now you're just asking for trouble. Fantastic save from Bill Hamid to stay his ground and not give Rendon any sort of angle. But little mistakes like that, David, continue to haunt Miami FC. Players not winning their individual duels on set pieces, sloppy on the ball, plays right into the hands of any USL Championship with the quality that this league has.
Everybody getting into the act for Indy 11. Rendon on one side, Foster on the other. Let's stay with Miami FC. Rendon in his first year with Indy 11. Gavilanes. Nobody around those. Quinn was able to break it up. Still here with an opportunity. Romero looking for a cross. That one, Stanley gets it out of harm's way. Back to midfield in the 45th minute. Keep an eye on the fourth official right underneath us. As clean as one can be if you're Indy 11. Blake, who scored in the 3rd minute, also getting an assist on Hogan's goal in the 35th.
The fourth official signals 2 minutes of stoppage time.
2 minutes of added time here. So a couple minutes of stoppage time. We'll see if Miami can cut this deficit down to 2. Miami last year conceding 89 times. 5 so far in a match and a half. Long ball here. Gavilanes. Final effort. Salt sees that one sail over the crossbar from Romero.
Just cause a little bit of chaos when you elect to play direct. Put the ball in behind Musa and Hogan, the 2 center backs for Indy 11. Now you have them facing their own goal. And that's when the confusion starts to set in and things can happen. Especially 3-0 down here at home in the 47th minute. Does not need to be pretty, just needs to be effective for Miami FC to try to play yourself into this game 1 goal at a time.
Possession doesn't mean a whole lot in a match like this. Miami does own the advantage, 58% to 42, but those numbers are a bit deceiving here tonight. 3 goals from the 3rd minute on. See if Indy can get one more crack at it. They cannot. See if there's a quick counter for Miami. One final push from Gavilanes. A lead official looking at his watch. An intercept by Foster as he goes quietly into the corner. But loud and proud is Indy 11. The first half has been a thoroughly and convincing thumping the hands of Indy 11. First half, what more do you want from the roadside? They've been clean and crisp.
If you're Sean McCauley, dream first half to start your 2025 season. You were better on the ball, you were compact defensively, and more importantly, you wanted it more. First every 50-50 ball, it's going to be really important for Gaston Madoni to get a reaction out of his side because simply it was just not good enough for Miami FC.
Yeah, coming up in the Cron halftime report, goals in the first half. Jack Blake, his first of the year on the penalty in the 3rd minute. Aiden Quinn, his first, and also Patrick Hogan, his goal in the 35th minute. Blake, the assist. 45 minutes in the books here from Pitbull Stadium. It's all Indy. They lead Miami FC 3-0.
Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
We are back live here at Pitbull Stadium, the Macron Halftime Report with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I am David Gascon. It's all Indy 11, 3-0 over Miami FC. While we have a moment, take a look at the week that was in the Eastern Conference. Goals, and a whole lot more. Fellas, take it away.
That's Goldthorpe. Elliot Goldthorpe! And Lexington have been in control.
Make it 6. Line drive a header. On and bites him Twine. Crisp passing, and Bryant finishes it off in the 32nd minute. Detroit's on the board. The visitors lead 1-0. Wide again. Williams the cross. Rodriguez 2 hands on it. He can't collect the second one. Runs, bangs it home. There's the insurance marker in the 87th minute, and that'll be a wrap for Detroit.
Tough ball for Oleg Sanderson Jr. to deal with. Oh, little look back. Slip. Squared. Coming. North Carolina FC. A ball on the bed and a bounce. And North Carolina FC leads Pittsburgh 1-0. Trouble again for McGuire this time. And Williams is going to make a play. Ties it up. Oh, there's something about this side of the goal box, and just like that, we're tied at 1s. And both times they've been kind of crazy mistake.
Blue City keeps it alive. Out in front again. And Blue City is on the board. With his left foot, sends it in. From distance. And it sneaks in. Wow. How did that get through Zamudio?
A good positioning and the opening goal for the season. And very early on, less than 2 minutes in, Morgan, Birmingham gets on the board. A corner kick into the back of the net, so Loudoun United scores just about 2 minutes after the Birmingham Legion get their first goal of the season. So a hot start for both teams. And with the W, however, is a nice save initially by Van Oekel. The follow-up, however, is good for Loudoun United as they take their first lead of the season.
Puzzling goals and others that were exquisite. Regardless, that's how things open up in the Eastern Conference. Hope you're enjoying this one. When we come back, we get some news and notes around USL Championship. Indy 11 on the board in the 3rd minute. Jack Blake, they lead right now 3-0.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Tipped on the line. Wilson! Brilliant! And he has been on fire in Tampa Bay! Cross forward, put down by Gaggi! The heroes! Let's go!
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness.
This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Back here at the break, Macron halftime report with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I am David Gascon. It's all Indy 11 through the first 45. 3-0 is the score. Ricky, while we have a moment in time, we get to take a look at around USL Championship with some news and notes. What do we got?
FC Naples made its League One debut in a sold-out crowd, 1-1 as they draw. And then you look at a successful debut match. Lexington, fantastic goal from Joe Hafferty. They pick up 3 points. And then the U.S. Open Cup kicks off this coming week with 8 USL Championship teams entering the first round.
Yeah, Lexington getting on the board last week, their first ever USL Championship victory. First club to do so in a debut since 2018. I like the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. There's always things that go on.
I mean, we look at this team right here in the 11, had a successful and a fantastic run in 2024. Can they emulate that? What the Open Cup gives organizations an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for as a team, as a player, is a chance to prove yourself against the best, and that's exactly what the Open Cup gives you.
I got some time to also take a look around the league. Out-of-town scores presented by Miami Marriott Dadeland. Switchbacks in Detroit City going toe-to-toe, but they reach full time with Detroit taking it 2-1. See Rhode Island and Charleston scoreless in the 20th minute. At the break, North Carolina with the advantage over Loudoun United.
What about Detroit City picking up 2 road wins to start 2025? There was an own goal from Herrera in the 81st minute, but Danny Dicchio has his fingerprints all over this season early and often for Detroit City.
Things can really build up in a hurry when you capture 3 points week in and week out. Out-of-town scoreboard, now looking at the menu, what's on the docket here in week number 2. Got some pretty good matches up on the horizon here in the next couple of minutes.
Las Vegas Lights, New Mexico, that one you need a circle because now you have Dennis Sanchez, the head coach of Las Vegas. He goes to New Mexico. It's a homecoming for him. And Las Vegas Lights, Antonio Chirino, the new head coach in town. That's going to be a doozy of a match. And then El Paso will welcome Phoenix Rising, a different look in Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, those are all available on ESPN Plus, wherever you may be, smartphones, Androids, of course, laptops, and television, wherever it may be. But week number 2 officially underway. As far as what we have here, we got some stats, we got some highlights right around the corner. It is all Indy 11. They are leading Miami FC to the tune of 3-0. We'll be back.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
Doral Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive.
Portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral. Also, Bon Bon Boom. Macron, become your own hero. And Baptist Health. Take a look at the first half highlights in this thing. Ricky, Indy 11 got on the board rather quickly. Early start for them because they were forcing things on the back line for
catches James Musa. Jack Blake says thank you very much. Cool as you would like. Convinced Penn to give Indy 11 the lead early on the road here.
Yeah, 10 goals last season. It's match number 1 and goal number 1 for him. But for Indy, they weren't done yet.
And just notice the way that this play develops. Aiden Quinn about 20 yards out, just begging for this ball to be laid off. Chizik does a fantastic job, not only to hold up the play, but pick his head up and see an oncoming run. Information on the pass, so Aiden Quinn just needs to run onto it and make clean contact. No chance will Bill Mead, and just like that, Indy 11 double their lead, and can they get that third? That was always going to be a question for Sean McCauley. Another set piece, and this is just about Patrick Hogan getting to the spot ahead of his individual marker. Goal side of bent, simply guides it on, which gives him the better angle, and 3-0 Indy 11 on the road.
Blue-collar effort right there from Patrick Hogan, and you like to see guys like that on the back line because you know those opportunities aren't frequent.
Testing your side and saying we cannot get complacent. How many more goals can we get to continue that hunger?
Do you feel like they're playing with enough energy?
Indy 11?
Miami FC.
No, they're getting beaten to every 50-50 ball. It's a matter of will. I think Gaston Madoni needs a reaction out of his side.
Neidlinger checking into the match. Logan making his season debut. Off the sideline, pretty good shot. Excuse me, one that Embiid handles. Never a bad time to put things towards target. Foster did just that. We saw some curious goals last week in the Eastern Conference, and Foster thought about it, so why not? Expected goals in the first half, about 1.3 for Indy 11, 0.3 for Miami FC.
Moments like this really important for Miami FC. 2 minutes into this second half, desired location is between that penalty mark and 6-yard box to cause a little bit of chaos between that back line and Hunter Soul.
See what materializes here for the home side. Decent look towards the back post, but sails over Knutson. Miami FC does hold possession. Another chip. Plenty of contact inside the box, and no whistle, no call. Osmanovic waving things off, but a pretty good look from Ricketts, who was down, and he did not go down on his own accord. Mead working lazy with that ball. Was almost intercepted. Hayden White, his night's over with, so Neidlinger in for him. It's the one change for both teams so far. Do expect a lot more. Gavilanes. Behind Ben. This portion of the broadcast brought to you by Doral Kia.
Is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Blake's goal in the 3rd minute, followed by Quinn and then Hogan doing all the damage in the opening half. Miami FC had a couple chances. Ricketts and Knutson off headers, but nothing to show for it. Indy 11 ran out shooting the home side 8-2.
One thing that's very evident for Miami FC, they're a bit more vertical. Players having the willingness to really test and ask questions of this back line of Indy 11, something we did not see in that first half.
Ricketts trying to make a move. That catches an elbow or a hand from Foster. Now Foster gets buried. The give and the get there.
Watch the extension of the arms right here from Malik Foster. That's a foul. Away from his body, as high as he catches Ricketts. And it's smart from Romero on the back end of it. Did not have a transitional moment. Malik Foster running full head of steam downhill. A nightmare for any opposing back line.
And Ricketts got the worst end of that twice. The elbow, then the palm. I don't know how that was missed. 51st minute. Possession in the opening half was tilted towards Miami FC, but even with it, shots they only had was 2. No numbers. It's 7 back for Indy 11 in that transition moment. Now peeling back from Miami. Gavilanes on a run. Pretty good ball up for him. Just a fling of the left foot. Try to put into a dangerous spot, but you're looking at this, Ricky, just no support for him.
That's when you need Lucas Milano to crash in around that 18-yard box. It's a great run from Rivera. He slashes across that near post. And yet again, just not good enough from your experienced player, number 26, Lucas Milano, player that Miami FC signed and had high hopes for, goals and assists. A bit pedestrian-like in around that 18-yard box so far.
Might be an interesting moment for Miami FC just to move some pieces around the board. One guy that's not playing tonight, Francisco Bonfilio, who picked up his second yellow card in the opening half last week against Detroit City. Obviously not available here tonight. Tulu out probably for the entire year. Bill Hamid did make his debut tonight, but 3 goals that he gave up. Can't fault him on any of them.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, David. You're down 3-0. It's a really good run from Gavilanes, left side of your screen, but notice his teammates, Lucas Milano, right side of your screen, not even in it. That ball lays right where he needs to be. Little things like that are a fantastic way and an opportunity to claw yourself back into a game. Just simply not good enough from the forward.
And to your point, that will be magnified during training sessions when the players looking at it on tape.
You want to score goals, you have to get yourself in a dangerous area.
Blake, ooh, quick touch. Just not on the same page. Chiza on the right-hand side. He thought it was a golden moment for him, too.
Just a little bit of miscommunication between Aiden Stanley and Jack Blake. I tend to agree with Aiden Stanley. He's offside if he receives this ball.
Indy 11 after tonight will stay on the road against Lexington a week from now. Miami FC next USL Championship bout is a week from now. They'll take on Tampa Bay, but between all that, they have Naples United FC and US Open Cup. Foster surveying the land. Murphy was lingering a little bit. Blake, quick tap though to Murphy. Bad pass. Gavilanes, a high hurdle. Miami FC trying to get in gear. Gavilanes who goes down. Slow to his feet. Looking for some kind of reaction to no avail. And down in the middle of all of it. Identity has not been realized yet for Miami FC. Fan soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and much, much more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Got some great seats here tonight.
Great weather, great seats, great company.
Great company.
Doesn't get better than that, right?
Your father's in attendance. I asked your father for an autograph.
Oh, stop. Asked you for one.
He did a good job.
There was a line out the door waiting to see David Gascon.
Oh, boy. Gavilanis' feed intercepted. And we'll say, though, gotta enjoy the weather right now for what it's worth, because in a month or two, it will not be comfortable. You get onto the pitch and you'll look like you just had a fire hose taken to you. Humidity tonight was about 73%, but in a couple months from now, it'll be in the triple digits on some nights. Might be one of the benefits, at least for the visitors, too, is humidity has not had a major impact so far for both Detroit and Indy 11. In transition, Indy does have some numbers right now. 3-on-2, make it a 2-on-1. Chiza outside. He is wide open. Hamid comes out to cut down the angle. Chiza just runs out of real estate.
It's the first ball into Jack Blake that it's not the best because he has to reach behind him. And as he does that, that goes down the window to play Edward Chiza.
Hey, sorry, I had to handle that. They get his way.
Looks like we'll have a change here for the road team. Their first change of the night. It's one of the things I got to imagine, too, as this night goes along, Ricky, when you have an advantage like this, you can afford to go to the bench a lot more often than not. Reneas, who came in just seconds ago.
Substitution for the Indy 11. Checking into the game, number 21.
Reneas from Halmstad, Sweden. Rondon's night's over with.
Frustration here from Rivera. Pushing the back of Patrick Hogan. The clear foul.
Loudoun United tied it up with North Carolina. They're 1 up. Charleston 1-0 over Rhode Island. FC Tulsa and Tampa Bay just getting underway. 5th minute, match is scoreless. So a couple of changes so far for Indy 11. FC still rolling with what they have. When you get into lopsided matches like this, Ricky, early on in the season, are you more inclined as a coach to play it through, or do you think it's worthwhile to bring in a couple different guys just to get their work in?
I think you have to figure out what do you trying to get out of this game. I mean, if you're trying to get fitness, yes, you can bring in some other players, but also if you can have the 11 players go 90 and use it as quote-unquote a fitness session, but also it's an opportunity for players to showcase their character and their personality and their fight, to say no matter what adversity throws at us, we're going to stare it straight into his face and play for the badge, which is Miami FC.
Gavilanis wasn't even looking towards the corner. That delivery came through. Ricketts missing on the delivery. I asked it too because the short turnaround, they have to go back to work U.S. Open Cup in a few days from now. Christian Vasquez.
Substitutions for Miami FC. Checking into the game, number 29, Kevin Hoyos.
Kevin Hoyos also coming in.
Also checking in, number 30, Christian Vasquez. He replaces number 7, Alan Gavilanes. Substitutions taking place in the 61st minute.
Gavilanes' night is over with. So 2 changes here for Miami FC in the 61st minute.
So now if you are Vasquez and Hoyos, you're looking at this opportunity as a way to prove to your manager, Gaston Madoni, that you can fill a void that was missing, whether it is in terms of quality, energy, all the above. Really important 30 minutes for those 2 players who just came on the pitch.
Hoyos spent a couple of years in Ecuador. Now making his way here to Miami.
Just so much space for Jack Blake to pick up this ball.
Another creative effort. Chizid on the right-hand side was looking for something a bit softer. There's lots of guys you can leave open in the middle of the park, but I don't know if you can do that with Blake.
A player that can do a little bit of everything. Final pass, score goals for himself as well, bring players into this game. But it's the action before that that's cause for concern for Gaston Madoni. You play direct and there's no Miami FC presence to pick up that second ball. Too stretched within their defensive structure for Miami.
Changes coming across the board. So Rivera and Gavilanes are now done for the night. Hoyos and Vasquez in for them. Rendon and White have been retired. Neidlinger, Bernays in for Indy 11. Bent working quickly as he does. Left-footed shot. Nice management of the ball from Sult. There's something dangerous as Vasquez offered it.
Clever from Vasquez as he plays in between both center backs. Good technique as well to let the ball come down and swing straight through it, straight at Hunter Sult in the end. That little action right there is going to be frustrating for Sean McCauley. We talk about a team not letting complacency creep in, not tuning off on a set piece. Far too easy for Miami FC to get in behind Indy 11.
Match is just over 2/3 of the way home. Indy 11 struck rich in the 3rd minute. They have not caved. Blake in the 3rd, followed by Quinn and Hogan. Three goals spread out. 3rd minute, 18th, and 35th.
A little bit of spatial awareness from around here. Just a peek over his shoulder. Has more time than he thinks. Good run here.
Excellent run. Hoyos, who was available. So what kind of delivery this is. Some backspin to it, but Sult is out there again.
And I'll tell you what, David, since coming onto this field, Vasquez and Hoyos have given Miami FC something a little different. The willingness to run in behind and put this back line of Indy 11 under some pressure.
Yeah, Vasquez, as you just mentioned, Hoyos here had an open lane to pull the trigger. Now he finally does, and he scores!
mentioned it earlier. Since Hoyos have came onto this field, he's been impactful with his work rate, technical ability. Look how quickly he reacts, picks up his head. No one's going to put pressure on me. Thank you very much. The way that he closes up his hips at the last second gives it that bending effect and bends it away from Solt. Great goal from Hoyos to open up his account for Miami FC.
That was a missile, bottom left-hand corner. Solt had no chance on it. Eerily similar to Quinn's goal in the first half. And Hoyos, that's quite an impression. Nice statement for him. And that might garner a lot more playing time next week. So he's on the board, and so is Miami. It's their first goal of the season. So they score, cut the deficit down to 3-1. Indy 11 trying to retaliate quickly. Harsh foul there. Blake down. That's her first yellow card of the night. Celeste will pick it up.
I got it. Keep your eyes on it. I'm writing it down.
Francesco not happy with the decision. Question is, did it have merit?
Not what you want for your first action since coming onto this pitch. It's late, it's tough. Right in front of Elvis Osmanovic. No need. The ball's gone, and you pick up a yellow card for Celeste.
I got it.
He pulled the chair out from Blake. Blake, who's still in his wallet. Take a look at the sequence and the buildup for Miami's first goal of the season, Ricky.
What I love about this, he's first to react, and then he's composed in around that 18-yard box. No one puts pressure on him. As a striker, you have to be opportunistic. Great goal. Clean contact to get Miami FC on the score sheet.
It's composed. You see a lot of guys that'll probably just feel like they're running out of time. They quickly pull the trigger. He tuned things up and got squared to the goal. It's quality right there. First one for the home side, making it 3-1.
Notice Edward Chiza just beyond that penalty mark. There's a lot of space behind this Miami FC wall here.
And left-footed drive, but easy to manage for Hamid. Hamid making his Miami FC debut. No fault of his own on the 3 goals getting past him tonight. But a career that saw him in MLS. DC United, making his way to Memphis 901, and now he's in Miami. It's the mindset of players that flip-flop, going from USL to MLS, MLS to USL.
I mean, as a professional athlete, you always want to prove yourself wherever you are. Obviously, everyone has aspirations to play at the highest level that they possibly can. USL's done a really good job of, watch out here.
Oh, yes, it can. Ricketts. Bad ball.
Just not enough quality. Exactly what I mentioned in the first half for Mercado. Has so much responsibility on the defensive side of the ball. Has to cover so much ground. So around the 70th, 75th minute mark, you start to see his legs give a little bit. And terms of his fatigue.
Good job by Bet not giving up on the plate. He's got some real estate. Well, that drive, slices away. Hoyos, though, squared up again. Unfortunate for him, just not on target. But he's got some slump tonight.
Feeling himself, Hoyos, after that opening goal. Why not have a goal and call your own number yet again? About 25 yards out, ball pops out. As you see, Indy 11 starting to dip into their bench now. Cam Lindley coming on for Aiden Quinn. And Elvis Almo will make his debut for Indy 11, a big physical number 9. Likes to play with his back to goal. Edward Kiza would drop off a little bit deeper. Those two need to have a really good relationship if they want to cause some issues for opposing back lines.
Sean McCauley's got a pretty deep bench.
A lot of quality. Talked about it in the open. They did a really good job in the offseason of bringing players in that are experienced and successful within their careers.
Oh, this is a bad pass, and it almost burns salt. Indy 11 fortunate there.
Just pure energy and pure will from Hoyos. Left side of your screen, how he reads this. It's an emergency ball from Musa. Give credit to Hunter Solt, quick to react and just gets enough of it. Could have been a nightmare for Indy 11.
I'm not a betting man, but if I were to bet the house on something, I'd say Hoyos is amongst the starters next week.
I agree with you.
Man.
I'm taking that.
And he's a highlight for the second half of Miami FC, number 29. It's about as noticeable as anything has been this year so far for Miami. Granted, we're only into the second match. But when you're looking and searching for an identity and for players to lead you, Hoyos has been exactly that, asking for delivery again. Here he is on the run. Paul just couldn't get to him again, though, but he was asking for service, Ricky, and he's putting himself, like you mentioned, in those spots where you can find it and certainly provide a dangerous moment. 73rd minute. Bent fighting for it. Well, one thing, if anything, at least the technical staff for Miami is figuring some things out in the second half.
A little bit of extracurricular between Neidlinger and Bent.
It's like a regular Saturday night for you, Ricky. I was asking about the transition for players moving from USL to MLS or MLS to USL. I bring it up because US Open Cup is just a few days away, and we've seen plenty of teams go up against each other from the respective leagues.
Just seem a little bit more organized, Miami FC, since they've gone into a 4-4-2. So Celeste sit next to Mercado now. Now they split that responsibility within that midfield. Who's going to step, who's going to drop, and who's going to provide coverage for Akanyoti and Knutson. A little tactical change has made a massive difference for Gaston Modoni and Miami.
Miami out shooting Indy in the second half, 4-2. Looks like another change will be coming up for the home side in a minute. Bolu here. Just poor positioning from Bolu and gives it right back to Indy 11 on the corner. make it official. Zarate coming into the affair. He'll replace Mercado. May not mean much. We'll see what happens, but Bolu right there, not knowing where he was on the pitch. Those things could add up, especially when you're fighting for points in a match that could be decided by a goal. Stanley again, the give and go. Not on the same page there. How did you forecast this Indy 11 team coming into the new year?
I think you expect them to be fighting for a home playoff match once postseason time comes around. Sean McCauley now has a preseason under his belt, so he's trying to implement his style of play, his vision, and he also can bring players in that he thought was going to help them. So with the talent, yet again, with the experience of a year now, Indy 11 will only just get better. The biggest question, I think, for them is Augie Williams goes to Pittsburgh. Who's going to take and score those goals? Douglas Martinez as well goes to Charleston Battery. Now a lot of the responsibility is on Chiza and Amo.
Yeah, Blake can certainly manage. But yeah, to your point, and Sean McCauley pretty candid with us about his assessment of the team last year and what he wants to do.
Will not be surprised if we see this Indy 11 side try to sign an out-and-out number 9 when they have the chance to.
And there will be chances. It's great. How often do you hear about a coach who joins our conference call to talk about his team just finishing up a 5-mile run? I was pretty impressed. Talking to their public relations director today, Joe Gentry. He just finished playing tennis earlier in the day. I'm like, man, these guys are just a bunch of athletes amongst the front office there in Indy.
One thing that you can take if you are Gaston Madoni in the positive sense is now this Miami FC side has a little bit more will and bite to them. Playing a little bit more vertical, putting the ball in a dangerous area, and just causing some issues between this back line of Indy 11.
Celeste working quickly here to the short corner. Ball's going to go right back to Miami. I guess, and to your point, Ricky, as an athlete, when you see your team and the results not going your way on the bench, you almost feel like you can make an instant impact if you had the opportunity.
I'll take it a step further as well. With an opportunity.
Floating in, Sult almost cut off by Knudsen, but to no avail.
It's an opportunity to look at your manager right after this game and say, this is why I deserve to be playing.
Yeah.
Hoyos took his chance, scored a fantastic goal, and has really been impactful, not only with the quality-wise, but energy as well. This Miami FC side flickered a little bit more in the positive sense.
There's been a considerable amount of passion being delivered here in the second half. Whether that results in a point or not is to be determined, but fine job for Miami to get up here in the second half. Bent. Ball just had too much jump on it. Shots right now 9-6 in favor of Indy. Possession 58% to 42. Hoyos on the board for Miami FC. It's a club that struggled offensively last year. Frankie Lopez led the team with 7 goals, and Gavilanes, who returned, had 5. Played it cross. And Bolu trying to flirt with it. Miami FC ran through a bad dry spell to end the year. They were shut out in 7 of their last 8 matches to close out 2024. Oddly enough, the last game of the year they scored a goal against Rhode Island. It was a game they lost 8-1. Vasquez. Poor connection there, and Ricketts acknowledging as much. Josh O'Brien coming into the affair. Chisel would be the replacement.
Solid shift from Shiza. An assist on the aiding quid goal. Quality never in question for the experienced striker. And now this is a tactical change from Sean McCauley. You take off an attacking player, you implement a midfielder. Trying to set up shop and try to see this game out and pick up what would be a really big 3 points to start in the 11th season.
O'Brien coming into this contest in the prime of his career. He signed his first pro contract at the ripe old age of 18 back in 2021. He committed originally to the University of Washington. So Brian out there. Foster has it, twirling around. Lindley, who also just came in.
Hey, right there.
Foster's been an animal tonight for Indy 11. He's played well. Amo, left-footed punch. That thing powered wide to the left.
Just so electric. 1v1. Can play in space. Can do a little bit of everything. Malik Foster. Fantastic mid-season acquisition from Indy 11 since coming over from the Switchbacks.
Been a lot of guys good tonight for Indy, but he probably feel like Foster set the table early on.
Oh, he was the one. That was the bright spot early on, and everyone built off of that confidence.
Toby, adentro del área, Toby, jueguenle ahí con Luca, los tres.
Three goals scored by Indy 11, all in the first half. Those for Miami FC in the second half. Changes have come from both sides, but Indy 11's taking their foot off the gas a little bit. But a comfortable first half set them up nicely here in the second half. To not be in that mode of overextending. Speaking of overextending, that's going to be ruled offside, far set official with the flag up.
Right idea. And it's a really clever run from Jonathan Ricketts from outside in. Romeo just takes a tad too long to make that decision and get the ball out of his feet. top side of your screen. The timing is there. That ball needs to be played right now. So that extra touch gives Ricketts a yard offside.
86th minute, conclusion of this contest. We'll have stats, we'll have highlights, some final thoughts, and of course our Cricket Wireless man of the match. Foster got it back. Good push his way from Lindley. The cross.
It's Malik Foster in a nutshell. He draws you in with how comfortable he is on the ball, and once you get caught ball watching, he's in behind you.
Performance by the Great Heights Hip Hop Crew.
Seventh minute. Charleston got another goal. They're now in the second half, leading Rhode Island 2-0. Loudoun United with a 2-1 advantage over North Carolina. Solt, easy to manage. San Antonio and Pittsburgh underway in the 16th minute. No score. Well, the reserves for Miami tonight have asked a lot more questions than the regular starters. That much is certain. Ball, it took forever to come down. Foster almost able to pounce on it. Bent. Quick chip. Oh, yes. Oh, he just took his eyes off of it.
Anda arriba del central, Kevin. Dejá, anda allá, Kevin. Toby, más adentro. Kevin, no, Kevin, Toby. Sostenelo, Toby.
For Indy 11, 2 road games to open up this season before they go back home. They'll get Colorado Springs, North Carolina, and then travel to Hartford. Their journey in U.S. Open Cup action begins in the 3rd round. We won't talk about that for them until April. Romero pushes it over to the right-hand side. Back the other way. Hoyos again. Oh, if he hits that thing flush, he's got a brace.
Fantastic ball from Zarate. Right side of your screen, notice some movement from Hoyos. Off the blind side of Hogan between him and Neidlinger. Really clever from the striker, and that ball is on a platter for the subs just to come on and make clean contact with it. That's his top priority. He tries to swing at it, gets his timing all off.
But it's good. He's been the most threatening player tonight for Miami FC, and he has not even played a full half.
Without a doubt. Mobility, willingness, fight, personality have been all on display from Hoyos for Miami FC.
'90th minute, we'll check our 4th official. See how much added time we were provided. Musa mixing things up.
The 4th official has signaled for 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Hasn't been an overbearing match with physicality. It's been pretty good. Foster on the run, takes the spill. He's down again, another yellow card. Harsh challenge there. Romero and company will have to defend from a delicate spot.
Yellow card has been issued to Miami FC.
When you defend against a player like Malik Foster, balance is everything. When I talk about balance, if you get too tight to him, he's going to beat you with his pace in behind. And you give him enough pace or space, he can beat you off the dribble. Clear foul from Romero. He's late to the challenge. And Malik Foster continues to ask questions of Miami FC in a really interesting location for Indy 11. A lot of options here for Cam Lindley. Notice top of the 18, James Murphy. Another option for Cam Lindley is just to smash this ball right on top of that 6-yard box and hopes anyone can deflect it.
4 in the box to the back post. Osamo, you just mentioned, coming off the sidelines. That would have been a nice way to be acquainted with the teammates here in 2025.
Well worked from Indy 11. Everyone crashes that near post and allows Elvis Almo to go 1v1 with Knutson. He hasn't beat, just off balance when he makes contact with the ball.
Almo feeling his way around Knutson. For Miami FC, after this, they have Naples United FC on the 18th, a couple days from now, tackling their way through Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. And then they get right back to USL Championship activity with a date against Tampa Bay. That's the 22nd. Nice set piece here for Miami. Celeste will hurry it up. Solt looking on to the back post. Ooh, if that ball goes over Solt, it's a vacated and open net for Miami FC. Certainly does help that you're 6'7" like Solt is. Not a clean sheet for the keeper, but Indy 11 will pick up 3 here tonight. Important start for them to get off on the right foot. Jack Blake converting a penalty in the 3rd minute. And for all intents and purposes, Aiden Quinn will have the game-winning goal in the 18th. Amo and Bulu mucking it up.
Great work from Amo. 1v2. Uses his strength and still intelligent enough to knock it off an opposing player.
And that'll do it. We have reached full time here in Miami at Pitbull Stadium. And for Indy 11, they took care of business. And Sean McCauley and company go on the road, pick up a needed 3 points to begin their journey here in 2025. Final score here tonight, Indy 11 over Miami FC by a final score of 3-1. Now, while we have a moment, our player of the match, presented by Cricket Wireless, Kevin Hoyos, picking up his first goal of the season for Miami FC, did so after coming off the sideline. Got some work done. Important impact for him, and he is our man of the match. Congratulations to him. Losing cause, Hoyos' first goal of the season. Miami FC falls, though, to 0-2. Post-game show is coming up next. Stay right with us.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah.
Doral Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Triumphant tonight over Miami FC by a final score of 3-1. Kevin Hoyos getting his first goal of the season for Miami to open up there in 2025. But for Indy 11, all the damage was done in the opening half. And that's where they took center stage and advantage of Miami FC to begin this affair. Unfortunate for Miami FC because last week they played pretty clean defensively, but Jack Blake, Aiden Quinn and company did a lot of work in the opening half, particularly on set pieces. First goal that was scored tonight was on Blake's penalty in the 3rd minute. Bo Akinyoti had a foul against Musa. Musa was taken down, and because that, a penalty was awarded. Blake picked it up. He scored against Bill Hamid. That was the first goal of 3 in the opening half against Miami FC. Knudsen, along with Ricketts, who played pretty well defensively, just did not have a lot of opportunities to fend off what would be as Blake scoring here. We saw this one in the 3rd minute. He scored 10 goals last season, but getting off on the right note here tonight for Indy 11, making it 1-0. But the set pieces did continue. See Aiden Quinn slow playing this thing from outside the 18-yard box, and a missile that beats Bill Hamid, his first goal of the season. In fact, he did not score all of last year, making it 2-0. Aiden Stanley, who had 7 assists last year, helping out his cause here in 2025. Didn't get the helper there, but regardless, Quinn is on the board, and quickly it was Indy 11 up by a score of 2-0. In the 35th minute, more damage being inflicted, this time from the back line. Pat Hogan, who was a new arrival coming in from Pittsburgh, gets himself his first goal of the season, doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the back end, but here offensively, getting things done. It was 3-0. To open up the second half, Miami FC did make some changes. Kevin Hoyos off the sidelines and now on the board. 65th minute, his goal, the first one of the season for Miami FC. And I got to imagine he'll be amongst the starters next week for the club. He was fantastic in just a few minutes of play. Hoyos had 2 chances towards target tonight. One of them, he scored. The other one just a little bit off the mark. But all in all, a good effort from him and some of the reserves. But Miami does lose it by a score of 3-1. For Miami FC, they fall to 0-2 on the season. No points just yet for Indy 11.